Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how I started a business without having money to waste. For some of you who have already been following me, you know my story. I worked for a company for close to 17 years, so over 16 years in the financial industry in their call center. And we all um, got laid off. They no longer needed our footprint within our city. That was about 10 years ago. And in that regards, my life shifted. I had an 800 credit score, two houses, two cars, zero debt, and life was really good for me through different ups and downs from becoming the worst employee ever. um, I started a nonprofit with three other friends. There was so many different things that was going on, but I found myself at a roadblock financially that I needed a way out, and I became a traditional business owner, and that business was a residential cleaning business. And my solo cleaners can appreciate the fact that the replacement vacuums is a real thing. The amount, the number of vacuums that I had in a course of 5 years that I would get, and I wasn't getting those $49 vacuums. I was getting the Dysons and the Sharks, and so it was a couple hundred per vacuum replacing them. It became something, and the products, because not every client um, preferred the same products that you may have used in another home. And then at one time, I had a subscription to a company named Maluka to have more natural products. So that was an additional expense. So there was some money that was being vested continuously, all the time when it came down to the residential cleaning business. But in spite of the financial investment, there came a time when my mother fell ill, and I became her supportive caregiver in 2023, that I made a decision to stop taking cleaning clients. And when I did that, um, when clients had to transition out for one reason or another, I wasn't replacing them. And eventually it had gotten to the point that not all clients are created equal. So some clients were higher ticket clients than others. And there was some higher ticket clients that had transitioned out due to moving and other circumstances. And then I wasn't replacing them. So it was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And I found myself in a situation that I was having panic attacks and losing sleep, very stressed out, because where I saw myself coming out of, I was coming out of the debt that I had accrued due to the layoff. I was getting my credit score back up after the layoff. I was starting to do, little self-care routines for myself and having a little fun um, with my money that it after the layoff. So now we're coming into a situation where I'm seeing things get back. I'm scared that it's going to go backwards from where I came from. So I needed some way to supplement my income while I still worked my other business and took my mom back and forth to the doctor and other things that required for family to be first. And I knew that getting a part-time job, doing something, no matter what it was, with attendance policies and things of that nature just didn't make sense. I was not going to make the probation period. I was not going to, and it's not speaking, they say the power of life or death is in tongue. It wasn't me speaking negative things. It was the reality. Family was first. I was scarred from the layoff by all the sacrifices I made for a company to no longer be there anymore. There was a lot of grief. There was a lot of healing from that experience that I knew as being an entrepreneur, I had control of that situation. I was empowered to make whatever decisions I needed to make and stand on business with that. And while I did that, I knew that if I got another job somewhere else, if I woke up and my mom wasn't feeling well, I won't go to work. If my daughter called me and needed a someone to watch the baby because the daycare was closed, I wasn't going to work. That was my reality now, and I was okay with it. But my bank account wasn't. It wasn't. So I was looking for a way, and that's when I was introduced to travel business. And when I was introduced to business to travel, I was very intrigued. One of the things that intrigued me the most was there was no quotas and there was no demands. I was like, okay. And of course, you're booking travel. And so there was no, what do you call it? Inventory that I needed to keep stock of in my house. I was already replacing vacuums and keeping inventory of cleaning products. So I did not have money to waste on things that were sitting up in my house that wasn't moving out as quickly as I was bringing them in. So that was a plus. The other thing that I liked about it was the fact of how I could operate it. And what a high Sergio, how I could operate it was at minimum. And what I mean by that, the startup cost was less than I was paying for vacuums. The startup cost was less than my cell phone. The startup cost was very reasonable. So that was one. The other thing is the monthly overhead, because every traditional business owner knows that there's a monthly overhead. I was not Delulu, so I knew there was a monthly overhead. The monthly overhead was less than I was spending on Amazon on a monthly basis, because yes, I like Amazon. Prime is my friend. So it was less than I was spending on that. It was less than what I was spending on not wanting to cook and buying food. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. I can put this in my budget. So that was a win. The other thing that I considered, because I did not want to waste money, I was still in the process of rebuilding. I was still in the process of um, not trying to backpedal because of the clients that I currently still had. And also when certain things was going, even those clients had to be schedules moved because a mom may have had a doctor's appointment that I may have missed a week. And when you're a solo cleaner, you don't get paid if you don't work, especially when it's your thing. Now I know there's contracts out there, but if it's your reason you're not coming in, you're not going to get paid. That's not the client's fault. So the other thing about it is that I didn't have to pay for a webmaster, because people know that when that some businesses you require website maintenance and things that I didn't need to do that. The companies were turnkey. So I did not need to pay for webmaster. I did not need to pay extra for customer service support. I didn't need to pay extra for the pay system that I was getting paid, because as a cleaner, I had paid systems through Square, Jobber, different things of that nature that were monthly expenses. So now, based upon the travel business, I didn't have to worry about, okay, when I get paid, do I have to pay for this software? No, I don't. So that was a win. And then marketing material. I was really nervous about that. But the good thing about it, there is a financial pool of collateral or assets that are able to be used for marketing material that are not out of pocket. And if they are out of pocket, they're heavily discounted compared to going to a Vistaprint or Office Max or somewhere else like that. So that was very attractive to me. The other thing is I used a lot of tools I already had. Um, I did not need to go and get a business line because I was already familiar with Google Voice. So I was able to use Google Voice to set up my phone number for the business. So that was free. So I didn't have to worry about that. So I didn't have to get another cell phone or designated business lines that cost money on a monthly basis. I also at first was just using Google Sheets in order to uh, do my save my data and as a spreadsheet versus paying for Microsoft Office was an additional out of pocket expense. I didn't need it because I had used the free within Google because I'm a Google user. Um, and even for those who like AOL or Hotmail still and Yahoo still, Google doesn't cost anything to open up a Gmail just to get access or a Google account just to get access to those free resources. The other thing is with consultations with my clients, um, Zoom had Zoom has a free platform that you can use for anywhere safely 35 minutes because at 40 minutes it's rude. It just cuts you off. But Google Meets was another way because that didn't cost anything that I can do consultations with my clients virtually. So that was I didn't have to waste money because those were resources that were available. I didn't have to hire anybody to create forms because the company already provided different forms. So it was a no-brainer for me because it was a business that I could start that I didn't have to pour in a lot of extra money at all. So it made it easier to work and navigate through um, my rebuilding process that I was already going through with myself financially, and it didn't damage it. And of course, naturally, um, as helping other people start their own travel agencies and also booking travel, I'm getting commissions and I'm earning an income that is by all means helping the circumstances at my own pace. So I was really excited to be introduced to the business of travel because it was a solution for me, and it was a solution that allowed me to start this new business without having money to waste. So, if you're interested on learning more and you want to have a more in-depth conversation with me, information is free, and I would love to share with you how you could get started or more about what the companies have to offer to let you know that it can work with whatever you're doing financially and in your own busy life with everything else that you got going on. Well, I want to wish you all a phenomenal Tuesday on purpose.